David, is there something that you want to add on?
Yeah, this isn't necessarily about Randy Orton. What I wanted to add on was Daniel Bryan. I'm not really sure I like John Cena always rushing in to help the guy. It's kind of seeming that Daniel Bryan needs John Cena to fight his battles, and I don't think that's going to really help him in the long run. It's going to make him. It's going to make it look like John Cena is like. I mean, it is the truth, but like I don't want them to beat over the head that John Cena is number one and Daniel Bryan. The gap is like so huge, you know.
I'm glad that you brought that up because that's something I wanted to discuss. That's one thing that I'm going to need to change going forward. They need to stop coddling him. Ever since he arrived in the main event, I always have got that feeling that it seems as if he's being protected. They don't really let him talk on the mic. He needs to become his own man and stop being coddled. The fact that John Cena was the one in the opening segment of Monday Night Raw to speak up on his behalf, and he stood there and said nothing, I didn't like that too much. And honestly, Brian is like one of those nerds in the movie where his older brother is a jock and he keeps pushing the nerd on girls trying to get him laid because he can't get it on his own. That's how it seems like for Daniel Bryan right now. And it's one thing to be booked as an underdog, but it's a completely different story when it looks as if your hand is being held. Look back on Raw this week and last week, how he seems so uncomfortable with the fact that he's the most over guy in the company. Own that shit. Own it. Stand up and take ownership of it. And we may end up getting a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble for the Undisputed Championship. I'm not calling it the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm just not doing that shit. For the Undisputed Championship, whether or not it heads in that direction, but especially if it does, I'm going to need Daniel Bryan to tell John Cena to mind his own damn business because he's a grown-ass man and he can fight his own battles. That's what I need to see happen.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I'll actually defend John Cena here.
What?
Hold the hell on. Wait a minute now.
Well, what the hell is going on?
I'm just saying it goes within his character to go out and help Daniel Bryan, but I agree. This is Daniel Bryan's point to make his own. They're giving him an opportunity now to make a character for himself where he's like, I don't need you, Cena. And have Cena like go back on that, like, okay, you're on your own kind of now, see how it works out for you. And like add some like that could add layers to Cena's character, give him a little edginess to it. Not turn him heel or anything, but just give him edginess, like, you know what, I tried helping you, you're on your own kind of thing. And Daniel Bryan needs to step it up too in that department too with character development. So I think I didn't like how John Cena used Daniel Bryan to try to get himself over, but I'm fine with what they went with it at the end of Raw. I'm fine with that.
This brings up an interesting point here because the discussion that David tried to start on the TLC review about Cody Rhodes, I think it's more than appropriate in this situation right here for Daniel Bryan. I continually ask the question to myself, who is he? Who is he? Why should I care about you? Like, what makes Daniel Bryan... I wouldn't necessarily say what makes Daniel Bryan, but what motivates him in the ring? Because we need to see something that solidifies him as a main eventer. What is his character? How is he going to grow, progress, develop? I think that he's great in the ring and he tells his story there. But to bring the picture full circle, I'm going to need to find out who he is as a character.
I can answer that. He's kind of the wrestler who prides himself on being a wrestler kind of thing. Like, I know you hate that aspect of him saying, I'm a wrestler, you're a sports entertainer kind of thing, but I think that was established at SummerSlam where he's like, I'm a wrestler, I'm going to go out there and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put out good matches. That's what his character is. It's basic and he doesn't need to add layers to it, but that is his character.
But is that enough though? Like in this day and age, I feel like he needs more. He's like his character, it's getting old. Like it's good and he's amazing in the ring, but it's just getting old and he has to add more character to his character. So that's why I really wanted him to join the Wyatt family. Don't think they're going there anymore. So I just hope that he gets some sort of character. I don't know what he will do, but hopefully he can do it.
I'm not saying it's a good character. I'm just saying he has the base level of a character. That's all I'm really saying.
I like Daniel Bryan as a performer better than CM Punk, but I think the overall package that you're getting from CM Punk, I think he has the better package than Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan as a character, he is probably my favorite right now, but he isn't really as fleshed out like you guys were saying. CM Punk, I know that he's basically an anarchist. He doesn't take any prisoners. He doesn't like the authority. He's a rebel. You know, Daniel Bryan, he's a caveman that likes to scream yes and fight. That's kind of about it. I mean, I like him. He's the most the most important thing for me in a wrestler is you have to entertain me. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan in gimmicks and larger than life characters. I feel that Daniel Bryan is a good example of that. but I would like him to see him get a little bit more complex. I'm not saying that he has to join the Wyatt family. I think a heel turn for him right now wouldn't necessarily be disastrous. I think that the crowd was just going to chant no rather than yes. But I think that since he's so popular, it's better to keep him babyface. But I do think they should probably flesh him out a little bit more. And they have the opportunity with that. I mean, the guy's been screwed over so many times. I expect him to pop out twins at this point. The only thing is... I think I honestly don't want to see Daniel Bryan in another world title match unless he's going to finally win the damn thing. I'm kind of getting sick of it, to be honest. And I know the crowd wants it. The crowd, I don't know why it doesn't translate into pay-per-view buys. Maybe it's because the card just sucks and the economy is bad right now.
Or maybe it's streaming.
Or maybe we shouldn't make excuses for Daniel Bryan in that way.
I can agree.
Maybe
I don't know.
Blame those internet fans that don't buy the freaking pay-per-view.
Okay, don't blame the internet fans.
Or maybe because the live crowds aren't necessarily indicative of the wider WWE audience as a whole.
And also, they could be just over with the yes chance and not really Daniel Bryan as a whole.
I feel like
because the yes chance is an entity of its own. Because Del Rio had a C chant, for God's sakes. Del Rio.
It wasn't as loud, but the thing is, the guys walking into arenas and basically controlling the crowd, and I think that they should listen to their crowd, but at the same time, I just do not want this guy to fight in another world title match where he doesn't win. It's just getting redundant at this point. He's getting screwed and screwed and screwed. And it's like, okay, we get it. They don't like you. You know, when are you going to actually finally win the big one? When Stone Cold, got screwed out of the championship, he eventually reached the promised land. Rock had a little bit of a corporation storyline too. He reached every single wrestler that has gone through this type of storyline. They eventually reached the promised land. This guy, I just feel like he just can't get it done, Even though it's not fair what it's happened to Daniel Bryan. It's just, I'm kind of tired of seeing this happen to him,
Maybe needs that Royal Rumble push.
And you hit the nail on the head right there, David, where you said you don't think he can get it done. We all know, we don't need any convincing at all that Daniel Bryan is a highly talented individual. Probably number one on the list of in-ring competitors in WWE. Nobody goes out there and shuts the fucking place down like Daniel Bryan can. There are many people who can argue that case. But my thing is, when he's being booked in this way, it prevents me from wanting to be a fan of his. Like, I want to be a Daniel Bryan mark, but I believe that what I see on TV, it's preventing me from being so. I need this dude to have a fucking character going forward, because I've seen what has happened with him when he moved to the main event previously. A few months ago, when he was in all those matches with Randy Orton and he was mixing it up with the Authority, he was just there. He was just floating by, and I really didn't feel as if he was a solidified, like, his name is up there in the top tier of WWE, but they keep toying with the idea of Daniel Bryan being a top guy. I need that to be solid, and I need him to step up and be a fucking man. That's what I need to see Daniel Bryan. Well, let me not put it in that way, but he needs to enter into his manhood. He needs to do that.
He needs to grow a pair of nuts. I don't know what's going on backstage in real life, but I know for a shadow of a doubt, guys like Rock, well, maybe not necessarily Rock because he wasn't known for politics, but Stone Cold, Triple H, they wouldn't stand for this kind of stuff. And if he wants to be a legend, I know that Daniel Bryan has the capabilities to become a legend and a Hall of Famer, definitely. But if he wants to do that, he's going to have to, get out there and make himself known to the people backstage, because it's like, I almost get the sense that the writers aren't really giving him the push all the way, because he's not campaigning for himself backstage. Even when you see him in interviews, he doesn't carry himself like a star. And I'm not trying to say that he's disrespectful to the company or to himself, but he acts too much like a regular person. And for me, and I guess for a lot of people, we're so used to guys like Ric Flair's, or even not just wrestling aside, just pop culture is used to the flamboyance.
Larger than life.
Yeah, Kanye West. Say what you will about Kanye West. I mean, yeah, the guy's an idiot, but he's a star. He acts like one. He looks like one. He has all the credentials to be a star. Guys like Jay-Z, he's a star. LeBron James, he's a star. Daniel Bryan, putting him in that category, I wouldn't even put him in the category of John Cena. Daniel Bryan doesn't really have that cool factor to him. He just seems like a kind of a normal person when it comes to interviews. So if the guy would just grow a pair of balls and say, hey, give me a push, give me the company, something like, it doesn't have to be as disrespectful as CM Punk, then maybe things might change for him. But if he wants to be the top guy, then he's going to have to get a little bit mean, because you do not make it to the top without stepping on a few people on the way there.
I have to say that I have to add two things to that. I think the fact that he is such an ordinary guy kind of translates to us people. Like Stone Cold, as much of a rebel as he was a regular guy. Dusty Rhodes was a regular guy, and they got over because of that. I think Daniel Bryan's doing that, but I agree he needs to add layers to his character. And I think the one person who can do that to him, and I can't believe I'm saying that, this is John Cena. I think they did a real good feud between those two guys. You can add edginess to both characters. Like, dude, stop fighting my battles like I'm in my own man. John Cena's like, you obviously are not if you're doing all this kind of stuff. Just, you could add a really good WrestleMania feud between the two. I mean, we had one at SummerSlam, but that, of course, McMahon and all of them had to get involved with that and kind of devalue that a little bit. None of them doesn't even have to be for a title. Just those two men out there, like, dude, stop getting in my business. Well, dude, you obviously can't handle things yourself. I'm talking like Hulk Hogan now, saying dude a lot, but I think that John Cena is the one guy who could bring out some edginess in Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan's the only guy who could bring edginess out in John Cena.
I get what you're saying about Dusty Rhodes and Stone Cold, but I still disagree. While they may not be polished, they were not regular people. They had absolutely out of this world personality, charisma, and that translated to people. With Daniel Bryan, you said his character is to be a wrestler, not a sports entertainer. As far as I'm concerned, that means he has no fucking character. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he needs to become a sports entertainer, and that could get him to that main event and keep him there.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to be a wrestler, it's not really a good idea, because then you'll be along the likes of Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, like Lance Storm, amazing workers in the ring, but not superstars. If you want to be a top guy, you have to have all of those qualities. And Daniel Bryan, when he gets in the mic, I'm just going to get a yes chant. The Rock, he is a little bit guilty of this too, but he just has this natural charisma where it almost doesn't even matter. Well, let me not say that. It was too much of a bad pun. But with The Rock, he did have a lot of catchphrases, but he could hold his own with other people on the mic. And I feel like Daniel Bryan gets cuddled too much. Like, they had John Cena basically fight his battles for the last 3 weeks in a row for him.
I think with the comparison with Dusty Rhodes, what I was trying to get at is, like, Dusty Rhodes was kind of a larger than life character, but he was basically a son of a plumber, the American dweem, and he was just a guy trying to get to the very top of the company. And I think that's Daniel Bryan's character to an extent, but they need to explore it a little bit more, and he needs to explore it with himself and get that through in his promos instead of just relying so heavily on the yes chants. Yes, it's over and you're over, but you need to combine the two and find something else with it. Add a little bit to yourself, kind of thing.
You know what he needs to find?
I agree with Justin there for the whole. His character's relatable. And that's what I like about Daniel Bryan, but he does have to, as Justin said, as you're all saying, he does have to add something to his character. But he is relatable, and I don't think you need a larger-than-life character for him to get over. I'm not a fan of that anyway, so that's just me. But I like what Daniel Bryan is. He just needs to add some attitude to his character. But I do like his character as for what it is, but he does have to add some sort of something. Like, more aggressive. I'm not sure.
Well, I agree. Brandon, you don't need that big character to get over, because Daniel Bryan, just simply being Daniel Bryan, he's the most over guy in the company. But you do kind of need that character to not get bullshit title reigns where you win the title and then the next night it's taken from your ass. If you want to keep it, hold on to it. That's what you're going to need.
Built up for WrestleMania, though. If you think about it, he could maybe. He's going to get screwed over in Royal Rumble. Like, maybe he won't get into that triple threat match if they're going that way. Maybe he won't get into it. Maybe he'll be forced to go into the Royal Rumble, like #1 spot. Maybe he'll have to win the Rumble to get that title shot that he does deserve. Like, maybe that's where they're going with it. I'm not sure. But if they do go with it, then maybe that's when his edge will come. He'll get pissed off that he got screwed out of the title shot again. So then he has to force himself into the Royal Rumble. Maybe he's forced to go #1, and he has to win it. And the crowd will, like, go crazy to hold on.
What we have to realize, though, is that this is going to be WrestleMania 30. They have to pull out the start, because I think they're going to do something major with this one. I think they're going to develop Daniel Bryan. They're going to develop John Cena to an extent. They're going to develop Randy Orton, because they're doing Randy Orton right now, and they have to stop doing, like, here and there. They have to do, like, they're going to go total packages. They're going to throw everything they can at this WrestleMania to make it feel like this is the biggest WrestleMania of all time, because it is WrestleMania 30. So I think they're going to do that with Daniel Bryan, but I don't know how they're going to do it. I think he's fine being a regular guy, but he does need to add, like, something. Like, he wants to be on top of the company. He doesn't want, like, all the fame and money. He just wants to be the champion, you know?
That's not enough for me, damn it.
Well, Shawn Michaels wanted that. That was his whole gimmick, the boyhood dream thing.
The thing is, though, what wrestler, like, top guy have we that wasn't larger than life? Stone Cold had his whole I'll do whatever the heck I want gimmick. Rock had his whole, he kind of had a little
what about Shawn Michaels,
Elvis
though?
Thing going on. Shawn Michaels did have a little bit of an
Isn't that the guy who came out with
90s.
fireworks and sexy boy and gyrating and stuff like that?
Yeah, but if you look at WrestleMania 12, that was the boyhood dream. He did come out from the sky. I get, okay, bad example. I just think there's something.
There's
where
no
concede.
Okay, but look how over Daniel Bryan is. Like, he doesn't need that larger-in-life character. He doesn't need to go there. He's already over.
Look,
all they have to do is just establish his character more, make him aggressive. As I said, maybe he'll get screwed out of the title. He'll be forced to get aggressive. He'll be forced to actually fight.
How much more aggressive does he have to get?
I'm speaking for myself here. He is not fucking interesting when just look at that storyline with the Authority. He's not interesting. Out of everyone in that storyline, literally, he was at the bottom. And on my level of interest, I'm speaking at.
Okay, but
no, it's because Triple H knows how to go out to that fucking ring and make his money, make people remember who he is. That's why.
How much more aggressive does the guy have to get, though? I mean, I'm not talking about real life. I'm talking about in the ring. The guy is basically decapitating people in the ring. I'm just asking for a little bit of complexity and, more of a top star type of aura from him. Like I said before, there's never been a top guy who just went out there and really became just acted like himself. I mean, arguably you have John Cena, but that's what he is right now. John Cena, even when he first made it to the top, he was a rapper. He was a wannabe thug. We had Triple H. He was the Game. He was the guy that would go out there with a sledgehammer and do whatever it takes to win. Basically, Ric Flair's prodigy. Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Basically, like Justin said, Dusty Rhodes was like a man of the people, I think that Daniel Bryan doesn't really have that complexity to those type of characters. Not really necessarily aggressiveness in the ring. It's just a star aura from him. I'm not saying he doesn't have the potential. He certainly has the potential. But I just don't see this guy walking around in interviews saying, yeah, I'm this guy. When's the last time we saw a wrestler actually walk out and give us the believability? Like, I know people don't like Goldberg, but I don't know about you, but when I saw Goldberg in the ring, I literally thought he could kill somebody in the ring. Stone Cold, I thought that he could rock to the Stone Cold in the ring. I thought he was going to hurt somebody. Undertaker, I used to literally think the guy was undead. I thought he was a zombie. This was back when I thought it was all real. But Daniel Bryan doesn't really give me that, hey, man, this is my spot. I'm going to keep it. If you want it, if you want my spot, you have to pry it from my cold, dead fingers. I'm not really getting that from him.
Just like you said a few weeks ago when you were talking about how Daniel Bryan is so humble and he's the kind of guy, all shucks. That's who Daniel Bryan is. Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Like, I would love to sit down, have a talk with Daniel Bryan, maybe go out with him or something, have fun. No, like, have fun, a night on the town, hang out as friends, something like that. But for him being a star in WWE, I just need to see more. And just let me say, Daniel Bryan in the ring, not even a debate there. I will never say anything denigrating about Daniel Bryan when it comes to him in the ring because the dude is fierce and ferocious in the fucking ring. I don't have a problem with that. It's just what occurs outside of there, on the mic, that character, that total package.
But you have to wonder, is this the fault of WWE or Daniel Bryan, really? I mean, I guess they kind of gave him compelling storylines, but it was mostly focused on Triple H and getting him over as a heel. And Daniel Bryan didn't have much mic time either.
And Big Show, stupid Big Show.
Oh, yeah, don't bring Big Show into this conversation.
But I have 2 points. One, let's go back to when he feuded with Cena. When those two were having that argument, tell me that Daniel Bryan was not aggressive there. Tell me that he wasn't good on the mic, even though Cena kind of maybe was better than him at the time. But those two had a great heated back and forth on the mic, so he can do it.
Yes, I mean, look at the whole thing with the feud with John Cena, where he's like, John Cena's like, Daniel Bryan, you picked me because you thought it was going to be an easy victory. I'm not going to be. Yeah. John Cena just takes his hat off, like, you calling me a liar? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, Daniel Bryan can have those quips like, stop underestimating me kind of thing. I'm a legit guy. Maybe that's what he needs, to be like, I'm a legit guy. Stop underestimating me. I'm not an underdog. I'm a main event player. I'm not Brodus Clay, my God. Just, something like that.
Just let me say, when Brodus Clay says he's a main event player, he means the TV show main event, not actual main event.
Yeah, I think so too. But Daniel Bryan, he is a legit main event guy, and he needs to be like the anti Rey Mysterio, whereas like he doesn't go in as the underdog, just going like I'm a wrestler. It's gonna be fair because I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world, kind of thing.
My second point is: do you think his yes chants are stopping him from being that aggressive side. Because if he goes aggressive and he goes back to the yes chants, it sort of takes away from that aggressiveness and stuff.
Actually, I do.
Because
I think that as well. Let's stop comparing with Stone Cold, damn it. It's a whole different thing.
I'm not. It's a chant. We're talking about chants. Stone Cold has what chants that interrupt promos. Rock
don't bring up the what chants.
Yeah, everybody has had a chant. I just don't think this guy has. He just doesn't have the balls to do it on the mic. He's just too humble. It's nice being humble and being a nice person, but you have to give yourself a certain arrogance. Bret Hart is a great example. A lot of people hate Bret Hart nowadays because they think he's full of himself. I don't care. I think that Bret Hart is a star, and he walks around and acts like he's a star. He knows that he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I don't get that from Bryan. I want that from Bryan. You got to act like a star.
I think that's what we're all saying.
And Justin, oh my God, I'm saying this too much. I agree with you when you say that he should act like the anti-Rey Mysterio, because there's a conflict there when he's looked at as an underdog, but he goes in the ring and he's knocking motherfuckers out. That's a conflict for me. I don't want him to be booked as an underdog. They need to find some kind of way for Daniel Bryan to succeed in WWE outside of that idea of him being not worthy, because once he gets into the ring, we saw it on Monday Night Raw. He damn sure is. No question about that. No ifs, ands, or buts.
They should give him the Kurt Angle treatment. Kurt Angle is not the tallest guy or the biggest guy in the ring, but I always believed, even when I thought wrestling was real, as a little 8-year-old boy, I always thought that Kurt Angle could take down the biggest, baddest, toughest wrestlers out there. He went out there with Brock Lesnar, a guy who was basically a giant monster, and he still tackled him down to the floor and was holding him down and kept his own. In fact, he kind of out-wrestled him sometimes. So if Daniel Bryan could somehow find a way to pull off a Kurt Angle, that might work for him. But Kurt Angle always made me believe, no matter how big a person is, he could take them down easily. And Kurt Angle had that star power, the mic work, all of it. A full package. A very underrated person when it comes to greatest of all times. Kurt Angle has the full package.
I think we might be recording this in Canada, because I feel like bizarre saying this, because this is like a second statement I can't believe I'm saying, and Jay saying he agrees with me, but this is bizarre what I'm about to say.
Yeah, this is PWTR, the Canadian version.
But I have to say, probably one of the, if not John Cena, Triple H is the next best way to go. If Triple H is saying you're a B+ player,
what the hell is going on?
Wait a minute now.
If Triple H says you're a B+ player and Daniel Bryan beats him, it solidifies him as an A+ guy, and there we go. There's that possibility for WrestleMania.
Boom.
If not John Cena.
That's why
Isn't that what I said? Titles. After the show, after our TLC preview, isn't that what I said? And
yes,
you were like, no.
I did not want Triple H to be champion. That was the one thing. I didn't want that at all.
You said that, Jay, and my whole mind was like, that needs to happen.
Yeah,
it didn't happen. I'm disappointed.
Just to clue everyone in, the discussion that we were having on the preview of TLC, we were talking about Triple H saying the King of Kings will crown the Champion of Champions. We were all basically thinking that Triple H was going to climb the ladder and claim the Undisputed Championship for his own, and Daniel Bryan would confront him somewhere along the lines, maybe even win the Royal Rumble, and it was set up a Triple H, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and this would be Daniel Bryan's way of finally proving to Triple H that he's more than a B+, saying that this would be the nail in the coffin, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you beat me at WrestleMania for my title, and I consider myself an A+ player, then damn it, you have to be more than that. So that's what we're all talking about now.
Yeah, because I don't think the titles need to be in that picture, though. I think because sometimes a storyline can be good without titles involved. Like, I think that could be a perfect storyline where it's just like, he's like, okay, you think I'm a B+ player? Come on, fight me. It'd be an easy win, won't it? Because Triple H for WrestleMania 22 against John Cena, he was all like, this is going to be the easiest match of my life facing John Cena. And you know what? John Cena beat him, and it kind of solidified John Cena a little bit.
Well, they booed the crap out of him, but...
Well, that match sucked, but I'm just saying, from a storyline perspective,
it didn't suck.
I enjoyed the match, damn it.